Chapter 1, Morning Solitude. The reddish tone of the sunrise and the white light awakened the sleepy streets of the city. The shops had been open for 2 hours already, and Kite walked without purpose through the streets lined with small stores and kiosks. She carried her worn backpack, already broken at the seams, filled with cotton bags, decorative pearls in Naruto style, and her gray pullover draped over her neck. Everything seemed a bit too big on her small frame. Kite was one of over 9,000 freelancers in the city, and today was her free day. She gazed at the items in shop windows, mumbling to herself, everything's so expensive. The government had recently implemented new taxes, multiplying their financial struggles by 10. The increased costs left everyone a little poorer than before. Eventually, she settled at a cafe, one of those fancy places in the uptown district with huge umbrellas and decorative lamps that illuminated the evening air. Kite found a table alone, near a window large enough that she felt she could fly away through it. The window was decorated with flowers and plastic ornaments scattered around its frame. The food court bustled with people, but Kite remained in her solitary bubble. When the waitress approached, she asked, "What would you like?" "A tea, please," Kite murmured, and the woman smiled warmly. The waitress returned moments later with hot water, a selection of herbs, lemon, and sugar. As she set everything down, Kite thanked her quietly, and the woman disappeared back into the cafe's rhythm. Kite pulled out her notebook and began writing. How would it be if I learned to help myself? Chapter 2, Confronting the Past. Kite's mind drifted to recent events at her therapist's office. While December had gone well, January brought a panic attack during one of her psychiatric sessions. She remembered questioning the doctor desperately, "I want to feel better. I want to be enough for myself. I don't want to depend on others for my well-being, and I'm sick of meeting their expectations." Until now, her own expectations and wishes had been shaped by other people's stories. She knew she needed to change that narrative. She wanted to tell a different story, her own story. The therapist had suggested she become more social, but Kite realized that every time she experienced anxiety, it stemmed from social situations. You should try to forgive and forget, the therapist had advised, but Kite couldn't shake the memories of living with her sister. Life hadn't been easy. Her sister had subjected her to 4 years of subtle cruelty. Nothing she could prove or that anyone would believe. Others would simply say, "You're overreacting." But for Kite, everything had been real, and it had transformed her into a deeply sad person. Despite always trying to appear okay, smiling, being chatty, her heart ached for the love she'd never received. Now, at almost 30, she'd made a decision that surprised even herself. "I'm not going to marry. It's not something I can handle. It's not something I want to pursue," she had told herself. And what about children? Would she be a good mother? Would a child be born healthy with all her medications and mental health struggles? All these questions led to one simple answer: I will date myself. And she had. She was doing exactly that right now, sitting in this cafe, drinking her tea, and enjoying the music and atmosphere. Chapter 3, An Unexpected Encounter. Unfortunately, her peaceful solitude was interrupted when someone approached and sat in the chair next to her. Initially, he didn't speak. He carried the same type of broken backpack as hers, and Kite's first thought was that he might want to steal her money. Then she remembered, she'd only brought her Naruto wallet today, which contained just a few coins and small bills. Looking at him more closely, he appeared more worn down than she was. She considered offering him some money, thinking, well, would helping be a waste of time? Not really. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I didn't mean to stare, but would you like some tea?" His face brightened. "Yeah, tea would be awesome." When the waitress came to take his order, he said, "I'd like coffee with milk, and could you bring me a sandwich as well?" "Yes, sure," the waitress replied. Kite quickly calculated the money she had left. "A sandwich is going to cost me. How will I afford the bus ticket home?" But then something unexpected happened. When the waitress brought his order, he paid for everything, including Kite's tea. She breathed more easily, though she wondered, what a strange guy. Why would he do that? So, he said, looking at her directly, you're not working today? I'm a freelancer, Kite replied. I know, today's your free day. I'm a freelancer too. Oh, that's good. I'm Kite, actually Katrina. My name is Alia. So what brings you here alone today? Wouldn't you rather be here with your partner? She noticed him grow slightly sad before he smiled. I don't have one. What about you? I don't have one either. So it's freedom. Do you like anime? He asked, and when she nodded enthusiastically, their conversation about favorite shows began to flow naturally. Chapter 4, An Unconventional Date. They talked like excited children, laughing and connecting over shared interests. When they finished their drinks, Kite paid for her tea, and they left the cafe together. Why did you sit next to me? Kite asked. It seemed random. Alia looked at her thoughtfully. You know, I don't need anyone. I don't want a relationship. Me neither, Kite responded. I was avoiding a woman who kept staring at me. She was beautiful, but... He paused. Actually, you're beautiful too. You're tall, you have that artistic style that reminds me of characters from anime, but you seem much stronger. So you avoided someone by sitting next to me? Isn't that weird? Actually, I noticed what you were writing in your notebook, about dating yourself. I found that interesting. You know something? Kite said impulsively. I like you. What about letting me show you what a real date looks like? The idea surprised even her. Did I just ask him on a date? Yes, I want to date you. Let me show you how a proper date works, Alia said with a grin. Oh, so you have experience dating? I've dated several people in the past. Okay, then date me, she said, matching his playful energy. Alia gently took her hand and said, well, we've had drinks. Now, let's have some real fun. He led her to the train station, and they traveled to a nearby village where there was a private lake. They stopped at his house in a small town close to the city. He invited her in to gather supplies. Come, let's pack some things, he said, filling a cooler bag with bottles of juice and prepared food, potato pie and snacks that wouldn't spoil. They took the supplies and headed to the beautiful lake. Chapter 5, New Beginnings. Alia paid for their entry to the lake area, and Kite helped him spread out a blanket. Looking up at the sky, she remarked, it's beautiful here. You know, it's romantic to go to a lake with someone, she observed. Yeah, I thought it would be special to bring someone here, Alia replied. You've never brought anyone here before? No. Actually, after my parents died, I came here alone for years. They were older when they had me, so I'm an only child. Now I work in the city at a shop, I'm a sales assistant. I commute by train every day. We live very close to the train station. How about you? He asked. Kite felt a familiar pang. My parents are alive, but I had someone who made my life difficult. She paused. My sister wasn't kind to me. My 3 brothers moved to Germany and keep insisting I join them, but I have work here. I have a life here. I don't want to move. You know what? I moved here from Russia to build my life. I don't want to move anywhere else either, Alia said, putting his arm around her shoulder. They spent an hour eating, talking, and attempting to fish, though they caught nothing. When they returned to the city, Kite chose their next destination, a nearly empty cinema showing an old patriotic film. They had the theater almost to themselves, enjoying the atmosphere and each other's company. Afterward, Alia took her to his shop, where his co-workers greeted them warmly. He used his employee discount to buy Kite a dress, and they ended the evening at an outdoor event, participating in activities together. As the day ended and Alia needed to catch the last train home, they exchanged phone numbers. I want to tell you something, Alia said. I've never had so much fun with anyone before. Me neither, Kite admitted. So what are we going to do about this? What about dating ourselves together each week? Kite suggested. Yes, why not? Dating ourselves, but together. Ever since that day, they began their unique arrangement, not marriage, not a conventional relationship, just two people who had chosen to date themselves, finding joy in each other's company while maintaining their independence. And so Kite learned that sometimes the best relationships begin when you've already learned to love yourself.